Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'll recap a horror action film, The Collector. So keep your eyes wide open and stay safe. The movie starts at night, with a house sitting in the dark. Larry and Gina Wharton come home from a night of fun, laughing and drinking. Gina heads upstairs while Larry stays downstairs to check some mail. He tries the light switch, but nothing happens. Suddenly, Gina calls for Larry, and he rushes upstairs. In their bedroom, they see a big red box just sitting there. Larry thinks one of the workers might have left it. On top of the box, there's a strange note, "For the collection." The box shakes. Larry slowly opens it. Out of nowhere, a hand shoots out and grabs him. After the opening credits roll, we see a big 2-story house under construction. There are workers everywhere, fixing and building. Among them is an exterminator and a quiet man named Arkin. The family who lives in the house is pretty normal. There's Michael, the dad, and his wife, Victoria. They have 2 daughters, Jill, a teenager who's always busy, and Hannah, their playful little girl. Michael talks to Arkin, asking him to finish putting bars on all the windows by the end of the day. It seems like a simple job, but things are about to get a lot more complicated. Outside, Arkin takes a break, smoking a cigarette as he puts up the last few bars on the windows. Once he's done, he heads inside to wrap things up. Michael hands Arkin his payment and even gives him a little extra. He smiles and says, "This is for your daughter, Cindy. Cherish her while she's young. Teenagers can be a handful." Arkin nods, thankful for the kind words and the bonus. He thanks Michael, hops into his car, and drives away. Little does he know, his day is far from over. Later at home, Arkin sits in the kitchen with his wife, Lisa. She looks worried and asks him for money right away. Arkin finds out that Lisa owes a lot of cash to some dangerous loan sharks, and the deadline is tonight. She's scared and planning to run away with their daughter, Cindy, because she can't pay them back. But Arkin isn't giving up. He promises to get the money for her debt by midnight. Without wasting time, Arkin calls a man named Roy and asks to meet him. They meet at a sketchy strip club and talk in Roy's old car. Arkin isn't just any guy, he's an ex-convict. Roy helped him out when he was in prison, and Arkin's been paying him back by stealing things. Arkin explains that he's been keeping an eye on the fancy house he just worked at. Michael, the owner, deals with valuable jewels and has a really expensive one hidden in a safe. Since the family is out of town, Arkin plans to break in and take it. He needs Roy to pay him tonight, though. After thinking it over, Roy agrees to the plan and lets Arkin go. The clock is ticking, and Arkin knows what he has to do. Arkin drives back to the house under the cover of night. The place is out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by silence and shadows. He pulls on a mask, grabs his tool bag, and moves toward the back door. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a big dog jumps at him. The dog bites into his mask, tearing a chunk off before Arkin manages to get away. Shaken but focused, he picks the lock on the back door and slips inside. At first, everything seems normal. Arkin heads upstairs to the master bathroom, already knowing a secret. The safe is hidden behind the mirror. He carefully lifts the mirror and gets to work on the safe, taking off his mask to see better. But then, he hears footsteps downstairs. Someone else is here. It's the Collector, a creepy figure wearing a black mask, and he's locking the back door behind him. Arkin quickly puts the mirror back and grabs his bag. He hides in another room, his heart pounding, as the Collector slowly walks up the stairs. Through the wall, Arkin can hear every step. The Collector goes into the bathroom while Arkin sneaks back downstairs. He heads for the back door, but it's locked tight. There are several new locks at the top. The front door is the same, covered in locks that weren't there before. Arkin knows he could try to find another way out, but he remembers his promise to Lisa and Cindy. For his family's sake, he makes a tough choice. He's staying in the house to get that jewel. Arkin goes back to the master bathroom and starts working on the safe again. Suddenly, he hears a scream through the vent. His heart races. Michael stumbles out of the basement, beaten and covered in blood. Arkin quickly hides his tool bag and sneaks closer to see what's happening. He watches in horror as the Collector drags Michael back down into the basement. Arkin knows he needs help. He grabs the phone to call 911, not noticing a sharp spike hidden inside the receiver. When he puts the phone to his ear, ouch, it stabs him. He decides it's time to escape through a window, but when he gets there, every window is boarded up tight. He tries pulling off the boards, but snap, hidden blades slam down, cutting his hand. Frantic, Arkin runs to another door near the dining room. As he rushes through, razor-sharp wires slice across his face. This isn't just a house anymore. It's a deadly maze. He looks around and sees the dining room floor covered in bear traps. He hurries to the kitchen to find scissors, but even that's booby-trapped. Everywhere he turns, danger waits. The collector is still roaming around the house, getting closer. Arkin runs to the stairs but stops cold. Nails are sticking out of every step. With the collector closing in, he has two choices: run upstairs or head down to the basement. He takes a deep breath and chooses the basement. Arkin uses his flashlight to look around the dark basement. Suddenly, something makes him jump. He quickly turns on the light and sees Michael tied to a chair. Michael looks even worse now. He's covered in deep cuts, blood everywhere, and his feet are badly injured. Arkin rushes over and asks, "Where's your family?" Michael, struggling to speak, tells him that Victoria is in the basement too. Jill is out with her boyfriend, and he's not sure if little Hannah is still in the house. He whispers one last thing. There's a gun in the safe upstairs and gives Arkin the combination. Arkin nods and tells Michael to stay quiet. He moves to another room and finds Victoria. She's chained to a bathtub, and duct tape covers her eyes. Gently, he removes the gag from her mouth and calms her down. "I'm going to find Hannah and get you all out of here," Arkin promises. But he needs Victoria's help. He asks her to scream to distract the collector. Once the killer comes downstairs, Arkin plans to sneak back upstairs. He warns her to stop screaming once the collector arrives, so he doesn't hurt her. Victoria takes a deep breath and lets out a loud, terrified scream. The sound echoes through the basement, bringing the collector running. As the killer rushes to the basement, Arkin quietly sneaks back upstairs and heads straight to the master bathroom. He opens the safe, grabs the pistol, and finds the jewel, a giant stone as big as his fist. But there's one huge problem. The gun doesn't have any bullets. Back in the basement, the collector reaches Victoria. He grips her tongue with a wrench, making her freeze in fear. He threatens to cut it off, but at the last moment, he doesn't go through with it. Arkin knows time is running out. Arkin searches everywhere for Hannah, but she's nowhere to be found. Suddenly, he hears a noise coming from a closet. He opens the door and sees a big red box shaking. He carefully opens it and Larry bursts out. His legs are chained inside the box. Arkin stares in shock. "Who are you? What's going on?" he asks. Larry, scared and weak, explains, "The collector. He doesn't just kill, he collects people. If he likes you, he traps you in this box to use as bait for his next victims. Everyone else, like my wife Gina, he kills them," Larry desperately warns. "Get out while you still can." But Arkin carefully closes the box again, knowing he needs to stay to save the others. He sneaks into Jill's room next. The window is wide open, but something's off. He steps forward and feels something strange on the floor. It's covered in a weird yellow-orange liquid. His heart drops. It's acid. Arkin jumps onto the bed, realizing his shoes are stuck in the burning acid. He notices the family's cat, trapped and screeching in pain. The loud cries echo through the house. Knowing the noise will draw the collector, Arkin yanks the cat free and tosses it toward the open window, but it's a trap. The window slams shut the second the cat lands, slicing it in half. Blood splatters across Arkin's face, and he holds back a gasp. The collector hears the noise and heads upstairs. He stops by the red box, kicking it hard to silence Larry inside. Then, he walks into Jill's room and sees the gruesome scene with the cat. Arkin hides under the bed covers, his shoes hidden under a pile of books. The collector doesn't see him and leaves. Quietly, Arkin uses the books as stepping stones to escape, carefully avoiding the acid. Every move counts now. Arkin finds a paperclip and quietly sneaks back down to the basement. His heart sinks when he sees Michael hanging upside down. He's been killed. Arkin knows he has to keep moving. He rushes to the other room and finds Victoria still chained to the bathtub. Using the paperclip, he carefully picks the handcuffs. "We have to get out of here," he whispers. But just as they try to leave, the collector appears. Without warning, he stabs Victoria over and over. She falls, tumbling down the stairs, barely clinging to life. Arkin freezes, hiding under a desk, heart pounding as the collector drags Victoria back to the bathtub. The collector does something horrifying. He sews Victoria's mouth shut. Her muffled screams echo through the basement as he records them on a camera. Upstairs, Arkin knows he has to act fast. He grabs a lamp and smashes a window, hoping to escape. Just then, he hears a car outside. Could it be help or more danger? Jill and her boyfriend Chad are sitting in his car, laughing and having fun. They don't realize the danger that's about to come. Meanwhile, Arkin hears the sound of the car and tries to warn them. He shouts for them not to go inside the house, but the rain is too loud and they can't hear him. Jill and Chad, unaware of the deadly traps inside, go into the house and start fooling around. They head to the kitchen, and things get more serious. Chad rips Jill's blouse open, and they continue their private moment. Arkin sneaks downstairs, hiding underneath the dining room table, hoping to stay out of sight. Suddenly, Jill spots something terrifying. The collector is standing nearby. She becomes scared, but it's too late. The collector gets closer and stabs Chad right through the hand. Chad is pushed into a doorway where a trap causes a huge cleaver to slice off his fingers. His leg gets stuck in a bear trap, and as he struggles, another bear trap snaps shut on his other leg. Chad finally falls, and the traps keep snapping, killing him in a brutal, graphic way. The collector grabs Jill, locking the back door behind him. She tries to call 911, but he pulls her away before she can say a word. Arkin sets off an alarm clock upstairs, hoping to distract the collector. The collector hears the noise and goes to check it out. While he's gone, Arkin finds Jill tied to the staircase with barbed wire. He quickly unties her, but Jill panics. She grabs some scissors from the kitchen and tries to defend herself. Unfortunately, a hidden trap launches her across the room, and she ends up impaled on sharp spikes behind a projector screen. Arkin hurries upstairs, removes the boards from a window, and punches the glass out. He jumps down to the ground, ready to escape, but as he runs, he looks back and sees Hannah screaming for him from a window. The collector is heading toward her, having heard her cries. Arkin runs back inside just in time to see the collector cornering Hannah on the staircase. He rushes to help and hits the collector with the pistol. He carries Hannah to her room and locks the door behind them. They hear the collector trying to break in, so Arkin comes up with a plan. They stay off the floor, and when the door bursts open, Arkin smashes a fish tank, flooding the room with water. Hannah pushes her TV onto the floor to help, but things take a horrible turn when the collector pushes Larry's body through the door, and he's electrocuted by the water. The collector throws knives at Arkin, but he and Hannah manage to escape to another room. Suddenly, Arkin gets a fish hook stuck in his eyebrow. There are more hooks hanging from the ceiling, making it even harder to move. The collector, angry, uses Larry's body to break down the door. Arkin quickly sends Hannah down a laundry chute to the basement. Before he can escape himself, the collector grabs him, and they start fighting. In the struggle, Arkin pulls off the collector's mask, but the collector overpowers him, knocking him out and putting the mask back on. Arkin wakes up in the basement. His hands are handcuffed, and he can feel several fish hooks stuck in his back. The pain is unbearable. The collector wakes him up by slicing a knife across Arkin's forehead. As Arkin tries to move, he spots Hannah hiding under a desk. He begs the collector to let her go, but the killer notices Arkin staring in her direction. The collector walks over, and in a fit of anger, Arkin insults him, calling him a rude name. Furious, the collector slashes Arkin's chest with the knife. He also punches Arkin, knocking out one of his teeth. Suddenly, another car pulls up outside. It's a cop, responding to Jill's 911 call. The collector leaves the basement, and the cop sees something terrible through the window: Chad's mangled body. He goes around back and finds the collector standing outside. The cop tries to arrest him, but the collector's dog lunges at the officer, ripping his throat open. Then, the collector breaks the cop's neck, killing him instantly. Back in the basement, Arkin painfully pulls himself free from the hooks. He grabs Hannah and they rush to find Victoria. Sadly, they discover that Victoria is dead, lying in the bathtub. As Arkin looks around, he sees something terrifying. The collector has filled the bathtub with gasoline. He realizes that the collector plans to burn the whole house down. Just then, the collector grabs the cop's shotgun and enters the house with his dog right behind him. The danger isn't over. To escape the basement, Arkin comes up with a plan. He ties himself to Hannah and crawls through the laundry chute. Just as they're about to get away, the dog lunges at them, but Arkin pulls Hannah up in time to save her. Arkin then grabs a toilet roll, sets it on fire, and places it in a trash can. When the dog comes after them, Arkin pushes the flaming trash can right into the dog's face, killing it. Next, Arkin and the collector get into a big fight. They struggle and punch each other. Arkin knocks the shotgun out of the collector's hands and into the basement. They keep fighting, and Arkin manages to knock the collector into the basement. The collector gets up, grabs the shotgun, and shoots through the door. When he finds Arkin and Hannah, he shoots at them, but then he realizes he's been tricked. He just shot at a mirror. Arkin and Hannah are behind him. Quick thinking, Arkin releases the wire holding the chandelier. It falls, crashing and stabbing the collector. Arkin and Hannah quickly make it outside and start running, but the collector is not done yet. Wounded, he follows them out of the house. They reach a road, and Arkin sees a bunch of cops coming. He tells Hannah to stay by the side of the road while he runs out to flag them down, but just as he's trying to get their attention, a cop car hits him, and everything goes dark. Arkin, still dizzy from being hit by the car, looks over at Hannah and sees the collector sneaking up behind her. He yells her name, but when he turns around, he sees that it's a police officer grabbing her, not the collector. The officer carefully places Hannah in the cop car, making sure she's safe. Arkin, now on a stretcher, is loaded into an ambulance, but just as they start driving away, He watches as the house explodes in the distance. Arkin tells one of the officers that he saw the collector's face, and they quickly head out to check a place that matches his description. But before they can get far, a van crashes into the ambulance, flipping it over onto its roof. The van pulls up even closer. The collector opens the ambulance door and throws a knife straight into the paramedic's eye, killing him instantly. Then, he pulls out another knife and cuts Arkin free from the stretcher. Arkin pleads with him to let him go, begging for his life. The collector drags Arkin to the back of his van and throws him into the red box. It's then revealed that the collector is actually the exterminator Arkin worked with at the start of the movie. After the credits roll, we see the collector sitting on top of the red box watching a slideshow. Inside the box, Arkin is shouting, saying he's going to kill the collector as soon as he gets out. The collector kicks the box hard to make him quiet. So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our movie recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Produced by Warner Movie Recaps.